So I decided to start this YouTube video. Um, I don't know how far I'm gonna get. I had already a glass of wine. I don't know how much I'm gonna get out, but I'm gonna speak my piece. I said I was gonna tell my truth, my story, my journey of love that I experienced when my son transitioned. And I say transition because I'm not comfortable with the other words to describe when you lose someone because I don't feel like Adonis is lost. I feel like he's right where he's supposed to be. I feel like he was ready. And as I tell the story, you're going to understand what I mean. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect to get emotional like in the beginning, but nonetheless, I have had a love affair with my son since he was born. His father and I we were really good friends, and I loved his dad. May he rest in peace. He passed away um, in 1998, unexpectedly. And Adonis had been diagnosed with epilepsy very early on, but it hadn't taken the form of epilepsy is a neurological disorder. It causes you to have seizures. And they didn't really diagnose him 100% until he was 15, and that was a incorrect diagnosis. I had been to doctors on top of doctors for a long time because they had put my son on Keppra, everything. The last medication he was on was 2,500 milligrams of Depakote. In essence, my son had a seizure and a heart attack, and let me explain. He had an undiagnosed condition called prolonged QTLQ, which if you ever see basketball players playing basketball and they just drop that. Well, God had another plan because Adonis had to save some lives, so he had a massive heart attack and a seizure because when he fell, he hit his head. Prolonged QT can also it causes you to seize. So his death certificate says both. So I'm clearing that up. That's another myth that was out there that how did my son die? Well, does it really matter? Because he really passed away, died, transitioned at the end of the day. So it was like a lot of people have a lot of opinions on the relationships I have with my son and my daughter, which is crazy that you have that much time to be concerned. I've been told your son didn't think he loved you. If anybody knew my son, he knew his mother loved him, and I'm a hard mom. I don't pull no bullshit with you. I don't allow you to look at certain things that happen in your life as an excuse. I have experienced a lot of hate. My daughter said, "Mom, why people hate on you, girl? Because people just wake up breathing and act crazy." So, nonetheless, my story is not gonna be like boom, boom, boom because it is very emotional. It is a lot for me, but I am compelled. This is not to be bitter, angry, mean. It's because somebody out there in this universe needs to understand that it is going to be okay. That life happens and you can be weak and you can be strong and you can live. My son had come to me. He passed on July 10th, 2014. I may say past transition, whatever. Don't be like, oh, if I use it, because that's how niggas get. Like y'all be like, oh, you said transition, like stop, like enough already. Um, he had came to me before and said, "Mom, I'm too special to walk this earth," and I was like, "Is he high?" Because I remember the first time he got high, because I had came home and he was laying on the couch with some candles lit. I was like, "Are you alright?" He's like, "Oh, I'm chilling." I was like, and then one time I had smelled weed in the house, and he gonna tell me he was lighting incense. And then his friend Terrell told on all y'all. Dre, Tristan was upstairs. Um, not Dre Burley, but DeAndre Haynes, and I caught them all downstairs. And then Terrell was like, "Mom, I was smoking a black." Nigga, you done told on your boys. And I went to their house and made them tell their parents why they was allowed to not. They couldn't come to the house for like a week. They had to tell it. Nonetheless, my son never got in any trouble except with me. Like, I would be like, "Get out." Like, I had no problem saying, "Get out." He was smelling his piss like the first time he had sex. He was really feeling himself. And then I reported the lady to, like, because she was 22 or 23, a little Caucasian woman, knew my son was 15. So I had to go report her to the police. Although Adonis was 6'7", if you follow me on my Instagram, Life is Limitless AB at IG, you have to let me approve you because I don't want anybody all on my Instagram. You'll see he was a beautiful young man. And that's the one great thing that I got to discover, like, and see him grow. Like, I got 21 years. Some people don't get a month. Some people don't even, their child doesn't even catch a breath. I didn't just get 21 years. I have a beautiful grandson, Adonis Jr. So, on July the 3rd, I was supposed to move. I was moving to North Carolina. My daughter was already there. I talked to my younger sister. I was like going to stay at her house for 2 weeks. I put my stuff in storage. It was really happening. And my son came in my room and was like, Mom, you're not going to North Carolina. He told me that the young lady he was seeing was pregnant. I was like, well, you're doing well. You're working. Like, he was like in his own life. And I'll be back and forth. He's like, Mom, trust me, you're not going. I was like, what? And let me tell you the crazy thing. I had been sick for like a year. And I was talking to my son and my daughter saying, I'm not going to be here forever. Like, y'all have to get it together. And I remember one day I was at the tattoo parlor and I was just talking to him. We were having a real life adult conversation. Oh my gosh. And this young kid in there was like, Miss Tamika, that is awesome. I was like, what? He goes, I wish I could have a conversation like that with my mom. A lot of people don't realize that we had a really good relationship. Like, it was good, bad, and different. But I ride for my kids. I ride for my kids. Anyhow, July 3rd was Noche de Chicas, and it was at my brother's house with his wife and my friend Sin. It was like my cousin Roxy, and Glow special drinks were flowing. And my son called me July 3rd, like, hey, Mom, what you doing? I know you're not close. I was like, hey. And he said, Mom, I just called to hear your voice. And I was like, that's what's up. And he's like, you proud of me? I was like, yes. He's like, you love me? I was like, yes. Like, we talked. Like, I actually excused myself and we just talked because he had been a little stressed because the baby. And we'll talk about that later down the line because people were very nasty. Because he didn't want the baby to be sick because this whole time we're thinking he had epilepsy and he didn't. So we talked for about 10 minutes and he's, Mom, I love you. And I said, I love you too. That was the last conversation I ever had with my son. The next phone call I got was Friday. It was the 4th of July. I was giving myself some faux locks because I couldn't get in touch with Jade. Hey, girl. And I got a call from his cousin Justin, who my son had been helping, and he said, Cousin Tamika, something's wrong with Adonis. And I was like, well, he probably had a seizure. And I said, well, how long? He was like, 5 minutes. I said, hang up, call 911. That's too long. And my son was at my mom's house, and I was at my sister's. So I called back, and the next voice I heard was Officer Matthews saying on her video that they had a 21-year-old in cardiac arrest. I was on the phone while they were working on my son. Some people know that, some people don't. As a mother, it's bad enough when your kids have a cold and you be like, Jesus, please give me the symptoms. I don't want baby all stuffy. But I couldn't do anything. I was so helpless. I was so weak. At that very moment, I was defeated. I was broken. I was threw something on, and they were the clothes that I had on for 6 days. And my sister and I drove, and we held hands and we prayed. I got to the hospital before they brought my son, and we were in the room, and it was me, my sister, my mom was there. My dad was in North Carolina because my daughter was there, and my Uncle Leon. And the funniest thing in this tragedy that was occurring in my life, and I want to paint a picture for you, excuse me, is that I couldn't see my son for an hour. An hour. So Uncle Leon was like the spokesperson. He was like my dad for me, and he was making jokes. I'll never forget he was talking about my Aunt Marilyn and sex, and I was just like, and my girl Jay was sitting there like, you know what, God got this. Like, don't we got this? And then my sister Nikki had called her friend Courtney's husband Michael, and he came. And then they told me I could see my son. Excuse me. I go into the room, and it wasn't my son. He had already went to the bathroom on himself. And he cleaned him up. And he was on these machines. I was crazy at that very moment. I was crazy. But I kept it inside. Because I didn't want to look like I knew the answer. I didn't want to look like I had given up on God. And I remember standing in the between the doors that you come into the hospital, and I was screaming, and I was singing. I don't even know what I was singing. And I was just like, God, help me. Let me tell you about me and Jesus. I didn't just ask God for help when something was wrong. You have to be a strong steward. I don't need to walk around with a Bible. I don't need to be like, girl, I go to church on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I knew my faith in here, and I knew my son's faith because he had got baptized. And Michael came, and he prayed, and he said to me, you have to accept God's will. Who, baby? You have to say, God, I accept your will. And you have to know that the decision that has already been made is the decision that has already been made. You have to be willing to separate the fact that you accepting God's will doesn't mean you give up. It just means that God got this. Even when you look at the child you birthed from your womb, even when you look at the child that grew inside of you for 9 months and you fell in love with, lays there incapacitated with tubes and machines, and you have to say, God, I accept your will. I need somebody to tell me. I need somebody to tell me. I need people that have talked about me. I need the people that have drugged my name. I need the people that have had no compassion. I need those people to tell me how I felt that day. Where were you? You can't tell me a thing about my strength and about my weakness. This is all I got right now. I gotta go. I'll upload tomorrow.